Well, fill up your coffee, fill up your tea. Turn on the speaker, turn off the TV. Sit in the chair you really like. It's the Sunday papers with Greg and Mike.
Read all about it. Read.
Who would have thought you were the problem this week?
We have had a lot, not insurmountable, surmountable audio problems this afternoon.
Not really. Here's my mic this week. It is in a bottle, and it's going into here. So,
wait, you've got it inside the bottle?
No, I like a little echo effect. It's kind of like how Zeppelin put the drum kit in a spiral staircase thing in a manor. Yeah, it's like that. No, it's right in front of my face. I hope it's close. It'll probably be the best audio we've ever had.
Yeah, maybe for one single week we won't get some people saying it's too loud and some people saying it's too soft.
The H6, we should get sponsored. I brought the H6 and I forgot my mic that plugs into it, and they have no jack somehow for a pedestrian mic. Anyway, so we're going to try. I apologize. We love to blame Denman usually for the audio, but that's not the case this week. It's me.
No, Denman is on top of things. He's in touch with the Grammy Award-winning sound engineer, he's told us.
Yeah.
So, and he compared himself to him. He said, he doesn't do anything I don't do. Yeah, he wins Grammys.
Yeah, there might be that difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have a big announcement to make for the holidays. Mike, you want to take it from here?
Yeah, we landed on a merch gift. I already ordered them, and we need your support. And here, I'm going to show a picture. We went with a listener's suggestion of a koozie, and look at that.
Looking good.
That was the mock-up that the company sent me. They're turning around really quick. I don't know the quality, but we wanted to get these koozies ready to ship. And then you and I, this is a real, DIY situation.
They'll be ready to ship in a week, and we're figuring out how the payments are going to work. And next week we will tell you exactly how you can buy your Christmas koozie. And we're also doing those microfiber glass wipes. And
Are we doing that? I thought we decided that might divide. They were also more expensive than the koozie for some reason.
I love how you say we decided. Like, we send a couple texts back and forth that trail off with nobody replying. I don't know. As long as we can get it done fast, I think we should do it.
I can get it done fast. But anyway, we're already dividing the effort. Koozies, let us know if you want them. We ordered.
No, don't let us know. We're going to put them on sale, and we're going to sell them. And you guys are going to buy them, and it's going to be a great stocking stuffer. It's perfect for the stocking, and we hope to sell to at least 25,000 people.
I love it.
All right.
And we're going to price it. We don't know what it is yet. I don't think
it's going to be cheap.
It's going to be cheap, but in a way, it's like we are trying not to charge for the podcast, and in a way, it's just kind of supporting us.
Yeah.
And we will take care of it. We also, I think it's so DIY, I think we're sticking them in envelopes ourselves. Maybe we'll sign them.
Well, I think your daughter's going to do it. Your daughter's going to be in charge of all shipping. That's going to be for her Christmas money.
I think she's going to reject that job, but we'll see. But we can get it to you early. So next week, we'll be holding them in our hands.
If you buy koozies, we can buy new microphones for next year, and this podcast will sound so much better.
And I can buy some Post-it notes where I can remind myself to bring my microphone.
Also, I want to announce, I'm very excited. I do a benefit every year for Best Buddies, which is a great organization that raises money and helps people with intellectual disabilities get housing and internships and jobs. And I do a benefit every year for them at the Comedy Store. So this one will be December 13th. So far, we already have Sarah Silverman. We've got Craig Robinson. We've got Andrew Santino. We've got Bobby Lee. We've got Annie Letterman. And then we have a huge name, who is very likely that we'll be able to announce in the next couple of weeks. So go go get your tickets at the Comedy Store, or actually, I don't know that they're on sale yet, but get ready. That's coming. I'm just really excited about the lineup.
Wow, that's very cool.
Yep.
Nice.
Tomorrow, we're taping this on Saturday, so tomorrow on Sunday, I'm going to see The Last Waltz, which is the film shot by Martin Scorsese of the band in their last performance, and they're joined on stage by Bob Dylan, Joan Baez. Who else comes out?
Neil Young, Muddy
Young.
Waters, Dr. John, Ronnie Hawkins. This is literally, because it was like a
crazy.
screensaver when I went to college. So off the top of my head, Van Morrison, Eric Clapton. It's rather endless. There's a lot of people.
So I've seen it on TV, like I've watched it on video, but I've never actually seen it in a theater. So they're doing it at 4:00 in every theater in the country that it's playing at. It's all playing at 4:00. I don't know what the significance of that is, but me and Tom O'Neill and Aaron and a bunch of people are going to see it.
Neil Diamond, who was a very weird ad, and he was a little bit derided. In fact, he and Bob Dylan had a little back and forth.
Really?
Yeah, like Neil Diamond came off and said something like, good luck following that, or something. And Dylan had a very snappy retort, which is like, I could follow that in my sleep, or whatever it was, better than that. But I do know the personal connection because you know him. You met him through me. Remember the legendary entertainment lawyer, David Braun?
Of course.
Right. So David Braun, who was amazing, he not only was Dylan's lawyer, but he was Neil Diamond's lawyer and Robbie Robertson's lawyer. And he, I think, was the impetus because Robbie was producing. It was very self-serving of Robbie. That's why the band was like, why is Neil Diamond in this? And Robbie Robertson was producing an album of Neil Diamond's. Anyway, the bottom line is it's hard to deny that Neil Diamond killed it.
He
did really well.
He does. Yeah. I mean, there's a whole category. There's a category of singers that do something that it doesn't matter how talented you are, Neil Young. You're not going to touch Elvis. You're not going to touch Tom Jones. You're not going to touch Neil Diamond.
You're going to touch Neil Diamond. Just come on, let's not be silly.
Oh, come on. Are you kidding me? We're coming to America today.
You know what they sound like? They sound like camp songs or like Club Med little anthems.
No, I'm not defending the quality, nor am I defending the quality of Elvis Presley, whose most of his songs were garbage.
You're insane.
I'm just saying you can't follow him on stage.
Well, people did, and it worked out very well.
No, all right. Aren't you, Mr.
No, you're going to see it. You tell me.
All right.
He's one of the most forgettable parts of it.
Really?
Although he does one song, and it does well. That's all I'll say.
No, it's like comedy. There's certain comedians, and they're shit. They're hacks. They don't say anything interesting, and they destroy because they have a lot of charisma.
Right. Anyway, have fun at The Last Waltz. I think I've seen it too many times. Unlike Stop Making Sense, which is not a concert film. A concert film I can only see so many times.
You're not going to be in L.A. on Sunday, are you?
No.
Oh. All right.
So anyway. All right. Women swerving into traffic. What's the update?
Well, last week we put it to you. Mike had a premise that as men are consumed with the Holy Roman Empire, women are consumed with the fantasy of driving headfirst into oncoming traffic. So we said to you...
It was the Roman Empire, not the Holy Roman Empire. There is a little difference.
Okay. There was many Roman empires, and we're obsessed with all of them.
Yes.
And so we put it to you. We said, if you're a woman, write in. If you have a wife or a girlfriend, write in. We even actually asked people to record somebody, and we got a couple of those recordings, but the quality of the recording was unusable.
So the premise was, I once was at this dinner party, And the question somehow came up where a woman shared that she asked other people, do you ever, when you're driving, and for her it was at night, think about how easy it would be to swerve over and hit the oncoming car head on and kill everybody in it. And all the guys were just shocked, and the women were like, yes. And we couldn't get over that all the women, like 4 other women, totally agreed and have that fantasy all the time. So I thought you could ask, because guys are shocked that that's even a thought.
Well, Marmar Beach is her name. I know that you wanted men to ask us about driving into oncoming traffic, but I'll answer you myself. I do at least once a month, amongst other very violent thoughts. In real life, I am a pacifist and sweet. My theory, with no evidence to prove, is that women are very good at hiding their demon side. So I'm guessing this once-a-month urge coincides with something else in her life.
Maybe. She wants me to join you in San Francisco, so maybe she wants me on the road, and she's going to drive against traffic and take me out.
Can you imagine at the EMTs coming and saying, well, she's bleeding from her head, her wrist, and her vagina?
Okay.
Lori in Las Vegas says, I'm a female driver from Las Vegas, so I'm not sure this applies to me because we bitches are crazy to begin with. When I see tourists jaywalking on the strip, the muscles in my right leg start to pull my foot from the brake over to the accelerator, but I fight back and have not yet plowed into fat Midwesterners in sports jerseys from whatever lame state they are from. But it's coming, ...
Lori, if they have an Eagles jersey on, just drive right through them.
It is amazing. The sports jerseys, so unflattering. They make everybody look short and fat and dumb. And
meanwhile, I'm going to be there, I think, next week. We'll talk about it beforehand, but Jack is coming down from Wyoming trying to get me out. The Jets are playing in Vegas next Sunday.
Do you enjoy going to football games live?
Gubbins brought me to, keep in mind, this is as good as it gets. He's like, hey, last minute, do you want to go? He had access to this luxury box in SoFi. Last week it was the Bears versus the Chargers. Keep in mind, VIP entrance into this unbelievable suite, and free alcohol and amazing food. Still not worth it.
It's not worth it. It
was the worst game.
I went in New England. I went to see the Patriots a month ago. Great seats, 50-yard line with a good buddy. And it just wasn't the same as sitting on the couch and watching the replays. I want to hear the announcers. I want to take a piss. I want to,
Yeah.
It's not as fun. I try it once a year, and I always feel bored. It's just too fucking slow.
This place had its own private bathroom, too. So it was it couldn't have been easier and better and treated like I got paid basically through alcohol and food to go to this thing. Also, getting there and out of there,
right,
is a nice.
It's a whole day. It's a whole day, and
I get down on myself. I should have a better attitude, though. Like, in other words, just go. I guess if I was bringing kids, it's for them, so that helps you align your attitude. But I don't know. It's challenging to be grateful at an NFL game.
I like fights breaking out. That's maybe the only upside.
But I'm also a Jets fan, so I'm turned off to all football in any way.
Sean Johnson wrote in, the part about swerving into traffic is a recognized phenomenon. The French have a term for it, l'appel du vide, or the call of the void.
Whoa, French.
It's most common when standing on a high ledge or building and looking down and feeling an overwhelming urge to jump, but it pertains to the thought of swerving into oncoming traffic too. There's been studies on it. And here's a snippet from the article. Prior to undertaking the study, the researchers hypothesized that the call of the void could be a misinterpreted safety signal, with those experiencing it potentially misreading the brain, encouraging them to move away from the danger, and the result seems to support this theory. So
I don't know. It's the French derivation might be how when Germany rolled into town, they just immediately like, yeah, kill it, take us.
yeah.
We surrender.
Yeah, right.
They went right towards the danger with their arms up.
Yeah. They said, do to us what you will.
They didn't fight the urge at all. L'appel du Nazi.
We had, well, we'll do corrections later, but he also pointed out that a koozie is pronounced with 2 O's. It's koozie, like a bird cooing, not like a cozy fire. I guess you said a cozy.
I certainly did. Keep that
Okay.
beer cozy. I don't know why I would say that. That means warm. Yeah, it's a koozie.
The logo this week comes from Craig Godet. It's Formula One. And I like that he picked the body that was taller than me.
What do you mean?
Very accurate. I mean, the heights of the two people in the picture are exactly right between us.
I think so, and I think we look good in jumpsuits, bro.
Yeah. Why not a jumpsuit? You know? Then you don't have to worry about a belt. You don't have to worry about what matches. You just fucking put on a jumpsuit every day.
Yeah, I always thought if I was more confident and didn't care what people thought about me, when I was skiing, I would wear a suit like that. What? You're not getting any crap down your pants. You're not, when you wipe
Nope.
out, you're not getting snow down your pants.
Right?
I'm constantly having to pull after a run, like, pull the pants up. You got to get a belt involved.
You got to tuck the shirt back in again.
Yeah.
No, James Bond wore it. Why can't you?
Exactly. The 70s had it right.
The song this week, and again, a reminder to you people, we love your songs. We don't care about the production quality. Kyle Herr sent in that
Got
little
that message.
gem. By the way, we need more songs, need more logos. Send them into fitzdog@gmail.com. We always appreciate it. It makes the show so special, and it shows us that you care.
Yeah.
Here's some corrections, speaking of you guys caring. This one comes from Mark G. You said Billy Corgan helped produce one of the Garbage albums. Then Mike goes, or did he help write it? It's Hole you're thinking of, Courtney Love's band. So you both messed up that one. There's
I
rumors
let your
that
things slide. All right, go ahead.
there's rumors that Kurt Cobain wrote a lot of it too. I'll tell you who didn't write a lot of it, Courtney Love. That's not where her
Yeah.
talent lies, but I'll tell you she is good at Murder with a Shotgun. I could hear Norm saying that, R.I.P.
He's very right. That would be.
If you saw that documentary, there is just very little doubt that she killed him.
Oh, there's so much doubt.
Nope,
I forget
not
the
according
guy's
to the
name.
father.
I forget the guy's name. Kurt and Courtney, he did the documentary. And I have to say, it was very inspiring because what I called it was a irresponsible documentary and very unprofessional. And he made himself, the documentarian, part of it. And he was just like, so I went down and I confronted this crazy man by the tracks who they said they saw that night. And all of a sudden he's there like talking to the guy. And I think Tom O'Neill should kind of make a documentary where whatever he wants to splinter off from chaos, and he should do that.
Rick says Courtney Love was in Hole, not Garbage. Also, you talked about musicians who died young. Buddy Holly was 22. The Big Bopper was 28. And Richie Valens was 17 when they died in a plane crash. Did you know Richie Valens was 17?
No, that's crazy. And
That's
also,
crazy.
Buddy Holly came on the other day, and it's really ridiculous. And
It's so
Dylan
pure.
talks about it. Dylan talks about traveling down. I think he maybe went down to Texas to see him, and it was in his Hall of Fame speech. He's like, he looked right at me at one point, and Dylan felt it was like spiritual for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what Buddy Holly could have gone on to do was incredible. Rave On, songs like that are just unbelievable.
He's just one of those guys that every British invasion band, so many rock and rollers point to him as like one of the main influences on them going into music. And tour dates.
Just have whatever you listen to, Spotify, Apple. just listen to his top 10 songs. You've heard them all.
Yeah.
And it's pretty incredible.
Speaking of incredible, I'm going to be at the Well in Bakersfield, California, November 11th. I have 2 more shows practicing my 1-hour special that I'll be doing in Austin in 2 weeks. So I'll be at the Well, and then I'll be at the Comedy Slice, which is this cool little spot in Ventura, November 15th. And then I'm taping the special. There's still... The late show is sold out. The early show at the Mothership, November 18th, there's still some tickets available for the taping. Not many. It's going to sell out very fast. Also, I'll be there on the 17th and 19th. San Francisco Punchline, November 30th through December 2nd. Fort Worth, Hyenas, December 15 and 16. Then I'll be coming to Chicago, Atlanta, Portland, La Jolla, Tampa. Go to fitzdog.com to get some tickets. Also, Mike... when you're going to see shows, what's the way to do it?
Let me tell you a little something about what I'm looking at on my phone right now, on my recording device. Get this, man. It's Game Time. I truly do. I really do love Game Time. But I went on here. I have LA still on here, even though I'm in Nashville. Green Day, they're performing. It's September. It's already down to 136. They're
September?
in SoFi Stadium.
What do you mean, in a year?
September 24.
Jesus.
What's going on with that? And it's trending. That's why it's in here. But how about this? Tonight, Kenny Loggins in the Santa Barbara Bowl. That dude is still in high demand.
I'm all right.
Even
Don't
in Game
nobody
Time.
worry about me.
$346 a ticket.
No.
But they'll go down. Yes, they'll go down.
Well, that's the point of Game Time, is you wait and you see.
Yes.
They have last-minute flash deals, and you can track the tickets. Everybody gets worried. Everybody freaks out, and they buy them right away when they're very much higher than they will be later.
Oh, boy, I just switched to Nashville. Here's Reba. You go see Reba. Anyway, it's great. I like going on and doing Discover is one of their buttons. They have sports, music, they have shows. But if you just put Discover in whatever town you're in, it's an amazing way to see what's going on. It covers everything from sports to bars that have like smaller bands. It's fantastic. So Game Time is the only ticketing app that gives you complete peace of mind with your purchase. You see the view from your seat before you buy, so you know exactly what to expect when you arrive. It's the all-in prices, which I like. Other apps don't do that. I hate seeing how much other apps the price goes up to. So it shows your total up front, so you know what you're getting, and you buy tickets in seconds with 2 taps. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code PAPERS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code PAPERS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Download Game Time today. Last minute deals.
Tickets.
Lowest price. Guaranteed. Do it.
This show is sponsored by BetterHelp, and it is a company that I have relied on got me through the pandemic. I'm not kidding you. You know, if you get the end of the season kind of depression coming on, maybe you have anxiety because of family coming. Here's the thing. You don't have to do therapy for 5 years. I did it before I taped my special last time. I did it for a month, and it really helped me I was starting to stress out, helped me get my head together, and so get involved. Therapy can be a real bright spot during all that stuff. So try it. It's designed to be convenient. It is online therapy. It's flexible, suited to your schedule. You fill out a brief questionnaire. You get matched up with a licensed therapist. You can switch. You don't like your therapist, no additional charge. Just go to somebody else. Everything about it is just simple and effective. And they've got great therapists. Find your bright spot this season with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/Sunday today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Sunday. Speaking of slash, do we have any paper to crinkle?
Oh, man, do I have paper. I don't have a microphone. But listen how crisp and clever
Wow.
Extra! Extra! Read all about it! Extra!
this is. Yeah.
All right, why don't you read this because I'm losing my voice and I have 2 1-hour shows tonight.
Republican House Speaker Mike Johnson once credited the fall of the Roman Empire to homosexuality.
Oh, boy.
There was uncovered audio of Johnson pushing the odd pseudo-historical theory. In the clip, Johnson is heard saying, many historians, those who are objective, would look back and recognize and give some credit to the fall of Rome, to not only the deprivation of the society and the loss of morals, but also to the rampant homosexual behavior that was condoned by the society.
Wait, so it brought down Rome? That's weird because didn't Rome also give us the Catholic Church where homosexuality led that institution to thrive? It drove up membership, gave these pervs a reason to live their shitty lives as priests.
Yeah, it's still a big part. Without homosexuality, you'd have a lot less priests, I think.
Oh, for sure.
That's a fact.
Yeah, and you'd have a lot more small altar boys. There's no more small altar boys. Nobody's sending their scraggly kid to backstage. Nobody wants to be backstage at the big show anymore.
But no wonder I think of the Roman Empire twice a week. Those gays, those fabulous gays. Come on now.
Right.
And can you imagine a gay Roman Empire?
Oh.
Like the Holy Roman Empire, but they just were honest about it. Like, we're going to take over the gay Roman Empire. Greece is like, sign me up. First nation taken, Greece. That's an old gay stereotype.
Well, I mean, they weren't exactly hiding it. They were wearing those dresses and sandals, and they had those bangs. Those bangs were gay.
Yep.
And they used to say,
a lot of incest with their gods, both Greek and Roman.
They used to talk about Rome. In Rome, you fall on your sword, or you fall on somebody else's sword. You swallow a sword. All right, let's move
incest?
on.
Was there any homosexual incest? I guess that's what I should have said, but I don't know if there was. All right, next story. Luxury California home selling for $1.55 million, and it comes complete with a meth lab and its contamination. The 6-bedroom house in Tony, San Jose offers a, quote, great location with easy access to the freeway, according to the realtor's listing, which notes it affords more than 2,700 square feet of living space. Ooh. And it also goes on to say, great opportunity to own a large home on a 6,000 square foot lot. Before it sheepishly noted, home has inactive meth lab and meth contamination. The home has not been cleared of contamination and will be transferred to the new buyer in its current state. For those who don't mind taking on a bit of a project, the $1.55 million price tag makes the house a good value as a nearby 4-bedroom house sold in May for $1.725 million. That one advertised it was meth lab adjacent. I think that was their selling point. I would have just called this a home office. Isn't that one way to spin it?
Yeah. And it's really like, and they say that if you want to take on a bit of a project, well, yeah, you're going to have tons of energy. You live in a meth lab. Plus,
exactly.
Think of all the interesting encounters you'll get with the old customers coming by for a fix. You know?
How cool would it be to throw parties in a meth lab? Like mixing up cocktails?
Yeah.
Perfect for a Breaking Bad like binge session?
Yeah. You know, Murray really changed since he moved into that new house. Hey Murray, how's the new place? Who's asking? What are you, DEA? Where's Mr. White? Gus is dead, bitch.
Also, the bathtub doesn't have a bottom in it because they used acid to burn a body.
Yeah, you're gonna have to replace your rims on your car every couple of weeks from the fucking randos showing up at the house.
Here comes the neighborhood, more like it. All right, speaking of crime, Sam Bankman-Fried, is it Fried or Fried? This is the FTX founder. He was found guilty on all 7 criminal fraud counts. A jury has found that he is guilty of all 7 criminal counts against him. The FTX founder faces a maximum sentence of 115 years in prison. The 31-year-old son of 2 Stanford legal scholars and graduate of MIT was convicted of conspiracy to commit wire fraud against FTX customers and against Alameda research lenders, conspiracy to commit securities fraud, and conspiracy to commit commodities fraud against FTX investors. Oh my God, it goes on. Also money laundering. He pleaded not guilty to the charges, which were all tied to the collapse late last year of FTX and the sister hedge fund Alameda. Keep in mind, he's an associate of Tom Brady because he personally got Tom Brady to do an ad for FTX.
As did Larry David. He did a.
Yep.
I think Steph Curry did.
Right.
There was a bunch of them, and they're all getting sued. Giselle Bündchen did it. Naomi Osaka.
Here's an easy rule. If your company moves its headquarters to the Bahamas, it's guilty. Right. That's just, I don't know much about business law, but I would start there. Also, Stanford, I mean, his parents went there. I don't know if he did any time at Stanford because they did go to MIT. But people are comparing this a lot to Theranos and Elizabeth Holmes, who's in prison now also. And she came out of Stanford. Ooh. And it's like, maybe you can get a major at Stanford in fraud with a minor in embezzlement. Like maybe they're grooming the world's leading business criminals.
Yeah, it's like, it's weird. How come you guys don't have student loans? Don't worry about it. We're all set.
Here's a class that's going to tell you, okay, first you have to act a little off-center. You have to have that deep, odd voice that she had or the crazy hair that this guy had. And, people just think you're some genius, charismatic leader. Trump even has the weird hair, and he's a business criminal.
I think the other red flag is when you're like an associate, when you're just starting out and you've already got like a Lambo. It's like, yeah, let's take a look at this guy.
Yeah. So he's 31. He is pretty genius, and like I saw the documentary on him, like how he found this discrepancy in prices and wrote programs to exploit it, sometimes owning things for like a second or two because he would just quickly buy and sell it when he found the disparity in price and the buying price and the selling price. Why not give, let's say he's in for 100 years or 80, whatever, he's in for life. Give him $1 million of the prison pension fund. Keep a close eye on him, hear his ideas, see what he can do.
Right.
This would have to be for the public prison system. But, like, he's in his prime. Take advantage of it.
Yeah, I think they should have done that with Bernie Madoff. You know, didn't he die in prison? Think of the money the prison could be making off that brain.
Yeah, Bernie's was interesting. Bernie, borrowed from Peter to pay Paul with the Ponzi scheme.
I guess he did. Yeah, he didn't actually make money. He just on paper made money.
He probably did find good investments because he kept listen. I guess the Ponzi does work even if you don't find something good. As long as you just need the new investors. But anyway, yeah, put these criminals to work, man.
Yeah.
All right, you call this next story Philly.
I don't know. Somebody sent this. And we appreciate it when you guys send us stories. I know I don't get to a lot of them, but this one, it said Philly, but it's not. An elementary school janitor in New Jersey is facing a list of charges, including child endangerment for allegedly contaminating food with bodily fluids.
That's all.
25-year-old Giovanni Imperialese, Jewish, is also charged with aggravated assaults and tampering with food. Police were contacted after receiving tips about social media posts that allegedly depicted Imperialese performing sex acts with what are described as inanimate objects at the school. I performed a sex act on an inanimate object last week. My wife.
I'm
kidding. My wife is very active. He allegedly
kidding, I didn't
contaminated
have
food
sex.
products and utensils in the school with bodily fluids that prosecutors say included saliva, urine, and feces. Well, it's
That's a lot.
Jersey. That stuff's all in the food anyway.
That's true.
In another incident, police say Impellizzeri touched his private areas with bread, spit on it, then put the bread back into a container to be served to students. Hey, Tommy, you can eat that hairy bread? You want that? I'll take it. And it said kids are getting sick, having diarrhea, vomiting, and we're blaming it on a belly bug, when in reality, it could be hepatitis. It could be food poisoning, said one parent. Yeah, there's nothing new here. There's a reason why diarrhea and cafeteria rhyme. It's just part of eating there.
Nice. And he spelled diarrhea correctly, which is the most shocking
Spell
part
check.
of this story.
Spell check.
It has to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oddly, spelling that diarrhea, it's hard to get out, unlike diarrhea itself. Thinking of this disgusting janitor did remind me of that Jeselnik joke. Do you remember that? He goes, when I was in high school, I won't do his voice, but when I was in high school, my high school employed a blind janitor, 100% totally blind. All the other kids would joke around that he went blind from masturbating too much. At the time, I believed that. I was just a kid. I didn't know any better. It wasn't until I got older and wiser that I realized that's just an old wives' tale they used to try to explain why he was always masturbating. At least Jeselnik's janitor didn't masturbate on the bread and put it back.
Yeah. You know, I believe that. I can remember being like 13 or 14 and believing that masturbation led to blindness, that it hurt your eyesight.
Oh, also, if you crossed your eyes and someone hit you in the back, your
I believe
eyes would
that.
stay crossed forever.
I believe that if you sneezed while you were inhaling, you could have a heart attack.
I always thought if someone hits me in the back while I'm cross-eyed and I stay cross-eyed, well, I mean, might as well jack off till kingdom come, because I don't want to see cross-eyed for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
So now I'm masturbating feverishly with crossed eyes. That was the image.
It's like, why does he have two porn magazines? Well, he's trying to see them both.
And of course, when I'm masturbating, yeah, with porn, I would be wearing an eye patch, so it's even better. I have one eye looking right at my nose, an eye patch, and just going to town like a chimpanzee. It's a good image.
It used to make me squint. It didn't make me cross-eyed, but it made me squint when I was masturbating.
Yeah, turning Japanese.
Speaking of which, we'll get to that in international. Let's get to entertainment right now.
Here we go. Entertainment.
Emily Hampshire, the actor best known for playing Stevie Budd on Schitt's Creek, has issued an apology for dressing up with a friend as Johnny Depp and Amber Heard for Halloween.
This killed me.
They had pictures on social media. She had fake tattoos and wore a suit that looked like what he wore in Pirates of the Caribbean. I want to address what is one of the most thoughtless, insensitive, and ignorant things that I've ever done for Halloween.
No.
I stupidly thought it would be funny to dress as Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. I am deeply sorry and ashamed for putting something that awful out in the universe. Domestic abuse is never, ever funny.
Well, can't they coexist? I guess I'm not understanding this story.
She says, in the future, I will do better. Is that required in every apology? Do you have to say that phrase, I will do better?
Yeah, it's an action. It's a call to action on yourself, and then you're getting people off your back. Whatever. Wait, did they make fun of domestic violence?
No, they just dressed up as a couple.
Also, wasn't it found out that he was the one? And there is a double standard. I mean, that if you're not recognizing a double standard, I don't know what world you live in.
Yeah, there was no conviction. He didn't do anything wrong. They proved that in court. And by the way, she
pooped
could
in his bed, right?
Yes, on his pillow. She easily could have just said she was dressed as Keith Richards. And she could have said Amber Heard was dressed as Mick Jagger.
I don't know. Sometimes you got to separate it. Like, remember that Halloween you went as O.J. Simpson and in each house you were looking for the killers?
Yes,
You were like trick or treat or the people that killed Nicole.
that's right.
That was fine. That was fine.
People laughed.
You
know,
weren't making fun of the killing.
I think it was the blackface that ultimately got me into trouble, though.
You did go. You committed. That's what we used to say. You
By the
committed.
way, I did not see the Post headline, but I'm guessing it was Up Schitt's Creek. There's no way it wasn't Up Schitt's Creek.
So I went on a date with her.
Shut up.
Yeah,
How tall is she?
she's not tall.
Oh.
And we met on an app, and it was Raya, the douchebag app, and we were both making fun of it. And I wrote a funny thing, and she goes, "Listen, I'm just writing to tell you that's the funniest bio I've seen on this stupid app or whatever." And so we both made fun of it. We realized in texting that it wasn't going to be anything, but we were making each other laugh, and so we met. And it was a lovely lunch, and it was really funny. This dog better stop barking. It was very funny, and then I think she married a woman. Or she immediately started dating a woman. So that's my thing, man. I'm the cooler. I turn them.
You're the turner.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are gay conversion therapy, but it goes in the opposite direction.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
I'm repellent.
Yeah. You're straight conversion
Sorry, guys.
therapy.
Sorry, guys. No one can have Emily now. I already took care of that situation.
Here.
But by the way, Emily, something about that also, I think the apology's overstated. Like she has a really good sense of humor, and she's on the right side of issues. That's the other thing. Here's the left again. If it is the left, killing people that they should not kill. So I'm thinking that she realizes how absurd it is, and she's overstating the apology.
Yeah, now everybody has a publicist. That apology is written by a publicist using AI. It's so trite. Oh, by the way, Denman found the New York Post headline. TV star apologizes for insensitive Johnny Depp Amber Heard Halloween costume. Come on, New York Post. Step up your game. What happened to the old days?
There were some details about he cut his hand, or there was glass, and forgive me if there was hitting. I'm not remembering. And also, I think they were cleared of charges.
Yeah.
He sued her because she said he was a wife beater, and he won. So I don't know. I mean, did the one who played Amber walk around with a black eye? That's going too far.
I don't know.
Only because of black. That's like 1/5 black face. That's the only reason I'm against the black eye. Let's make America Florida.
Let's do it.
A Florida man was slapped with child abuse charges after allegedly cutting okay. So this is a little beefy, and we discussed cutting it down, but I think every sentence has an insane Florida detail. A Florida man was slapped with child abuse charges after allegedly cutting a 2-year-old relative's penis in a botched circumcision attempt while babysitting the boy. Timothy Powell, 29, was arrested last month after the toddler's mother, who is Powell's cousin, rushed the boy to the hospital for laceration on his genitals. He called the tot's mother at around 7 p.m., so this started early, to tell them that the child was bleeding from his penis area as glass had entered his diaper. The family then rushed the boy to the hospital, where he had to have his skin glued to repair the injury. The staffers at the hospital flagged the child's wound as suspicious, I'd say.
When they said there must have been a children's hospital, in other words, children were doing the operating. That's why they used glue. It was Elmer's glue.
It's a craft. It's a crafting day. And they feared the child must have been abused. Powell also told the cops, he may have pulled the boy's penis downward with too much force and wiped him, quote, very hard. He said he, quote, did not intentionally cut the child, but a senior nurse from the child protection team said the little boy's laceration was much too clean and precise to be accidental in any way, and it was done with intent. She added that the injury looked like they may have tried to circumcise the child. Powell also seemed frustrated while putting on the boy's diaper in a home security video. He allegedly yelled at the boy, threatening to put soap in his mouth if he wasn't quiet, and he squirted him with a water bottle. Powell was arrested and charged with aggravated child abuse and remains behind bars. Okay. First of all, don't go as this costume, Emily Hampshire. This would be over the line. This is really fucked up, Florida fucked up, but you know things are bad if the excuse you make up is broken glass got in the child's diaper.
Right, while I was pulling down too hard on his penis.
Yeah, what's going on there?
Yeah. I mean, and this, by the way, this is all on video. That's how they know all the details. So that's going to be a fun little piece of video to roll out in front of his friends at his bachelor party. Hold on to that one. About 16 years.
Yeah, I mean, and the headline includes circumcision. That's insane.
Well, usually when you get circumcision, it sucks, but at least like somebody sings, you make a few grand from the relatives.
You have a rabbi who puts your penis in his mouth.
Yeah.
Very often.
Right.
I mean, are we going to find out this guy's a religious nut and that he was performing this ceremony?
I love that the bail was set at $100,000. This is heinous, horrible child abuse. Only in Florida, the bail is like $800, you know, because no one's got any fucking money down there.
I know, but this is 100.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's not enough.
Yeah,
Should be
I
$1
would
million.
say the sad part of this story is best case scenario, he was trying to circumcise the child.
Yeah.
That's the best case scenario.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's make Australia Florida. Okay, who wears the camouflage pants in this family? Blake Jory grew up in Noosa, Australia. Last year on a European holiday, he fell in love with an Israeli woman, Michal. Michal, I guess. Now he's experiencing war firsthand, and his partner is soon off to the front line. Quote, I've got a lot of emotion at the moment, a lot of uncertainty, the Australian said. When Hamas attacked Israel, Mr. Jory was in Tel Aviv with his girlfriend and was forced to seek shelter. To him, it was a surreal experience. Quote, it was very scary. My heart was racing as we're going down to the bunker, he said. Then hearing the explosions overhead, the rockets being intercepted in the sky above, it was really horrifying. Mr. Jory's Israeli girlfriend, Mikhail, said that while it was second nature to her, Mr. Jory was lost when warning sirens went off to signal the attack. Blake doesn't know what to do, and I'm starting to run, and I forgot that I need to explain what to do when the siren goes off. We've been to Australia not so long ago, and I was just blown away by the lack of worries you have. No worries. Everyone's happy. This sounds like she's adopted, like a rescue dog who shits itself every time the doorbell rings.
Right, because he's Australian, and like the scariest thing that happens there is like a kangaroo boxes you.
Mikhail told Mr. Jory to leave the country for his safety. Listen, I think you just have to get away from me in this area. I think you're too fragile.
Yeah.
He managed to get a ticket. So by the way, he took her up on it. He managed to get a ticket on an Australian repatriation flight and is now in London. It's been a difficult decision, I think, for both of us, but my partner has said, it's best to leave at this time because things are unprecedented and so unsure, he said. What a pussy.
Oh, my God.
She's constantly having to tell, like, keep it together. I hope she slaps him once in a while. Like, snap out of it.
Yeah.
With your hysteria.
Oh, my God. Australian men are like, they're either the most rugged dudes of all time, like the crocodile hunter, or they're total puss bags.
There is a lot to be afraid of in Australia. She just got one that's, she got an indoor Aussie.
Yeah, yeah.
Not an outdoor one.
I mean, the shit hits the fan and he leaves.
Yeah.
And Israeli women are badasses. They have to join the army. They learn Krav Maga. They live with us. They live as Israeli men. That takes a lot.
Yep. You can be called back and I guess drafted again or enlisted again. No questions asked till you're 40. And in special circumstances, it can extend beyond that, which, God, I mean, I guess we're heading towards that.
Yeah, they've already recalled hundreds of thousands of troops from around the world. They're all flying back to Israel to fight.
It is the messiest situation.
All right,
ever.
let's not talk about Israel.
All right, yeah, let's go to a quick sports story, right? It's going to be super quick. Just following up that the Jets beat the Eagles. I didn't mention that last week. That's the only sports story I got. It's not even a story. I'm just saying those words. The Jets beat the Eagles.
Can I just talk about as somebody that can't stand either of those teams? It's very hard to watch for that reason. It's also hard to watch because they're wearing the same uniform.
Yeah, it is a little tough. All right, here we go. International.
A Chinese worker urinated in a Tsingtao beer tank after having an argument with a colleague. They don't mention this, but I think he also made a pee-pee in his Coke.
Yeah, it's a joke.
Yeah.
Well, he played joke. I'm quoting. He played joke, he pee in your beer. How cancelable is that? By the way, I think that might be worse than dressing up as Johnny Depp for Halloween. I'm just going to say it.
You mean what we just said or what that guy did?
Well, I'm quoting a legendary, basically, nursery rhyme that all Americans grew up with somehow.
Well, Sarah Silverman did the joke on Conan O'Brien, and she had to apologize to, like, the Chinese something group. I don't remember.
No, she had that one with the Chinese slur, which was, again,
no, but she also
way out of context.
But she also did the Coke joke.
Right. Just to so you know what we're talking about, I won't say the word, of course, but it's the Chinese slur. We'll call it the C word. And she was trying to get out of jury duty, and she thought if she said, "I hate C words," that would get her out. But she felt so bad because clearly she doesn't, and that's ridiculous and all that. And her friend suggested, why don't you just write, "I love C words"?
The worker was filmed urinating into a tank used to store ingredients to make one of China's most popular beers. He's since been detained. His actions were caught on camera by a driver who then published the video on Douyin, Chinese version of TikTok. In China, administrative detention is a penalty that can be imposed by the police, acting with no judicial oversight, and usually involves being detained for between 5 and 15 days, or life if you're a Uyghur, and sometimes comes with a warning and a fine. Yeah, and I've heard that actually there's been something going on in China where after finishing the beer, people have had an uncontrollable urge to shake out the last few drops from the bottle.
On the upside, this guy was immediately offered a position in New Jersey elementary school as a janitor.
You don't even want to know what this guy did at the dumpling factory. Let's not talk about that.
We've seen your work. You're our type of people. We're working on the visa right now.
All right, let's hit science, tech, health.
Here we go. You want me to read it?
Yeah, why don't you read it?
Look at this switch, my voice. My voice has been pretty good for, I'd say, 2 months now. I don't know why.
Well, the problem is I fly across the country, and then I immediately go to the room and I do 2-hour-long shows, and my voice gets so dried out from the flight that I lose it by the end of every time. The first night, I always lose my voice.
You also might have a big sandwich caught on it. Houston's the fattest city in the country, I think. I think it still holds the record.
I think it is, yeah.
And it's contagious.
Yeah,
it's contagious down
there. Put a
there.
lot of weight on, and I've become a little bit racist. Actually, Houston is amazingly diverse. The crowds were like, it's fucking great. This club down here is called The Riot, and it's the grooviest, like it's on the second floor. It's an old rock club, and selling out all the shows, having a blast, and good local comics. It's really cool.
I have to move. I'm being blinded by the light here. Very cool. I wasn't uncomfortable at your description of a diverse club. I just want to make that clear. Very cool. Yeah, Beyonce. Beyonce's home. Matt Walsh, host of the Daily Wire's The Matt Walsh Show, recently sparked an uproar by expressing support for conversion therapy, challenging the widely accepted notion that sexual orientation is immutable. Particularly controversial were his remarks concerning being, quote, born gay, which he mocked by suggesting the idea implies the existence of homosexual infants. Yeah, I think all babies are gay, and then a high percentage of them grow out of it. That's my take.
Yeah. I mean, there's a reason they got rid of the anal thermometer. There was too many of the baby boys were clenching their cheeks, pushing back, and snapping the thermometer in half.
They walk around with at most a diaper on, and with that, and they have kind of that gay, like John Wayne type walk about them. They're flamboyant. Infants are flamboyant.
Yeah. And why do you think so many of them throw up after you put a tit in their mouth? I mean, a straight baby loves it.
Yeah, they bite it. They don't even know what to do with it naturally.
Yeah.
The latching. And I mean, are there gayer clothes than infants' clothes?
A onesie?
Yeah. I was just talking about if I had more balls, I'd wear a onesie. I couldn't because I was raised in this hetero, terrible, toxic, masculine culture we live in. I want to dress like a gay infant.
Yeah, the hair is real tight on the sides and kind of fluffy on top. They never wear a shirt. So gay.
They're walking around with a pacifier in their mouth looking for a rave with their onesie with like SpongeBob all over it. It's the gayest thing I've ever seen. It's crazy.
Let's go to this day in history.
Such mama's boys. Here we go.
On November 5th, 1940, Franklin Delano Roosevelt is reelected for an unprecedented third term as president of the U.S.
He was the best. He and Lincoln.
He had the promise of maintaining American neutrality as far as the foreign wars were concerned. As Hitler's war spread and the desperation of Britain grew, the president fought for passage of the Lend-Lease Act, which would commit financial aid to Great Britain and other allies. He met with Winston Churchill, and he created the UN. I mean, you can't say enough about what this guy did. A lot of people look at him now and they say he is what this country is trying to move back towards. And I say, yeah.
No, Biden very often has referenced the New Deal. And the New Deal is very similar to what Biden was trying to do. Listen, this is not pro or anti-Biden. These are just facts that I'm saying. What he tried to do with that infrastructure bill was very New Deal, about bringing jobs home, and I know you could poke holes in this. It's not perfect, but the major headlines of it were very New Deal-ish. This is not Biden's idea. This has been done before. It's reinvesting in America, and it's really trying to get the New Deal. Part of that terminology refers to the bad deal that was currently in place, which was the rich held onto their money and, under this, primitive theory, which wasn't called trickle down yet, but that was the way it should be. And of course, critics, Republicans back then even criticized the New Deal as a redistribution of wealth, but basically is you got to take the rich know better than anyone. You got to take care of the middle class. Without the thriving middle class. Anyway, America then went on to the best goddamn years ever.
He also did some
in many ways financially.
Stuff. He demanded the unconditional surrender of the Axis powers, which some claim prolonged the war. He also allowed Joseph Stalin to take certain territories in the Far East in his exchange for his war against Japan. And he was too naive where Stalin was concerned, especially in regard to Uncle Joe's own imperial designs. But do you, like, it is funny, like, I don't really remember the third. Did he finish his third term? I feel like he didn't finish it.
I thought
Denman,
that was
can you look that up?
Wasn't that his fourth?
No, I think he maybe he was going to run for a fourth. Or did he die in office? I don't think he died in office, did he? Denman's not. He's not with us anymore.
He won a third term. He remains the only president to serve more than 2 terms.
He's putting together TikTok videos for Pauly Shore right now.
Truman was inaugurated for a 4th term.
Oh, Jesus. All right.
Yeah. Let's see this. William Henry Harrison was the shortest time in office. Roosevelt spent the longest. He served more than 2. Oh, Jesus, give me details. Anyway, yeah. Well, Trump will change that if he gets in office.
Okay. His fourth term ended with his death in 1945. He won a 3rd term by defeating Wendell Willkie. He's not hard to beat a guy named Wendell Willkie. He's the only president to serve for more than 2 terms. Unlike his first 2 terms, his 3rd and 4th were dominated by foreign policy concerns because of World War II. Okay, so 4 terms. I mean, was it that? I think that was a suspension of law. I think that because it was wartime, they wanted stability, and so they suspended the cap on how many times he could be president. I feel like that sounds familiar.
He was also, incredibly likable. And talk about progressive, man. He married a lesbian.
Right. He
Come on.
He also started the internet. He did those fireside chats, which was like presidents didn't reach out on a personal level like that. It was just, and this guy weekly sat down and just shared his thoughts with America. It was very personal, and people loved him for it.
And arguably had America had the best first lady ever.
She did a lot.
I don't even know if that's an argument.
Yeah, she did a lot. She was pretty amazing.
And at that time, she was remarkable.
Yep. And a lesbian.
All right.
So
let's bring it down.
Let's bring it down.
And that's all, folks.
Obituaries, last week we were doing the show, and I think, was it Saturday? And later on that day, we got news that Matthew Perry died. Everyone knows this already. But anyway, by the way, pickleball at play. Pickleball is not safe, apparently, at least from my empirical data. I don't know the cause of death. There were prescription medications there. It was not meth. There was no fentanyl. I guess they did the tests.
Wait, what are you talking about pickleball?
He played 2 hours of intense pickleball that day before he died.
Oh, yeah.
And he went back to his place. It was during the day. It wasn't at night like some people think because of that post earlier in the week where he posted at night from his hot tub. And he didn't drown in the hot tub, they don't think. His body wasn't that waterlogged. I mean, maybe he drowned, but in other words, they think it was something else that made him pass out. Maybe he had a heart attack while he was in the hot tub. I don't know. But it's sad. I don't know if I ever told you, I had a meeting with him once. It was before Corden. He wanted, Ferguson was leaving The Late Late Show, which David Letterman's company produced. And he had an idea, and he wanted to do a half talk show and a half narrative scripted show, which would basically show you the making of, like, it would be Larry Sanders till it was showtime, and then it would be a real show. It's not that dissimilar to Larry Sanders.
I had that idea too.
But it was more reality.
Yeah.
But he was the nicest guy, and we have a mutual friend. I don't want to name him, but the mutual friend couldn't say enough great things about him. He worked with him on his sitcom and all of that. And what he said is, the guy was obviously as Matthew Perry has said a lot in his book and since, an addict. And I think at the time our friend worked with him, our friend's take was that he was addicted to recovery in a major way.
Really?
And was doing great and was really using ping pong, like was trying to avoid idle hands at all costs, would have you over, hey, who wants to stay and play ping, was really trying so hard to distract himself, or whatever the right words are for an addict who's trying his best.
Well, maybe, I don't know. I heard that he had been having a hard time, so he was sitting back and watching reruns of Friends, and there's a theory he died of boredom. So I don't know if that's
what it
true.
is?
Yeah. I heard he was unable to wrap his head around. All right, don't speak ill of the dead. Bobby Knight also died.
We can speak ill of Friends, which is just 21 minutes of dick jokes.
It's the worst.
Every episode.
Mugging, dick jokes, double entendre, puns. Bobby Knight was a longtime basketball coach for the Indiana Hoosiers. He became a sports legend for his winning record and his notorious temper. He played under Basketball Hall of Fame coach Ted Taylor while at Ohio State. They went on to win a bunch of championships, and then he became the head coach at Indiana University, a position which he'd hold for the next 3 decades that was marked by consistent wins. He was, first of all, he became the head coach
And suspensions, I think.
He was the head coach at West Point at 24 years old.
Wow.
Teams under his leadership had a 725% winning, or a 72% winning percentage. He won 3 titles, went to the finals 2 other times. Anyway, so he was great. But I can remember there was this one press conference where he just was cursing his face off, and then he got up and he ripped the microphone off, and he was like, "Fuck this fucking shit. Fuck you all." And then he allegedly assaulted a freshman student in 2000. He got fired for that. In 79, he choked another one of his players at the Pan Am Games. He was really a hothead. But, maybe that's what it takes, kids.
One time he said I'm looking up some of his quotes. One time he said to the press, "All of us learned to write in the 2nd grade. Most of us go on to greater things." Wait, hold on. There's another quote here. If the NBA was on Channel 5 and a bunch of frogs making love were on Channel 4, I'd watch the frogs, even if they were coming in fuzzy. He apparently hated professional. They were always asking him, "Why don't you move up to the NBA?"
Oh, no kidding. He thought that was a step down?
Yeah.
Wow. Huh.
Yeah.
All right, let's cheer up. That was a double death. Let's get to the funnies and have a few chuckles.
Here we go. Okay.
All right, Hagar the Horrible. Lucky, his friend he's in a bar, and there's 2 women, and they're sitting there, and one looks perplexed, and the other one looks wary. And Lucky goes, "Good evening, lovely lady. How was your day?" And she goes, "I was on jury duty, and I'm not allowed to talk." Lucky walks away, and she goes, "It's better than hurting his feelings." And then they don't show the next frame, but the other woman says, "Or being raped again." So
I can't believe Lucky's using words.
Yeah. I
Normally,
know.
yes, they have to yell at him. Use your words, Lucky. Use your words.
Yeah, I mean, it's so new-fashioned of him to be actually talking to the women instead of just taking them against their will.
Exactly.
Now you go.
Here we go. Well, with all the protests going on everywhere, I found this Far Side, and so it's a group, a throng of protesters. They got their signs, they're marching, and they have a giant banner in front, and the banner is upside down, and you can read that it says, "Imbeciles of America." Or imbeciles.
Imbeciles? Who the hell says imbeciles?
An imbecile does.
You're an imbecile.
Imbeciles. It sounds weird, imbeciles.
Imbeciles. You know, when I got my grandfather's birth certificate because I'm getting my Irish citizenship, which you have. Don't you have your Irish passport?
I have my Irish citizenship.
So to get it, you need to get all kinds of documents, like your grandparents' birth
A
certificate.
million documents. It's crazy.
So I got my grandfather's birth certificate, and it's from 1896 or something. And in it, it lists child's name, parents' name, siblings' names, and then there's 3 vertical boxes that you have to check off. And the first one says idiot, next one says imbecile, and the next one says retarded. Like, there are 3 levels in Ireland.
Yeah. He checked all 3?
Look, I may be an imbecile, but I'm not an idiot.
You checked imbecile? What are you, retarded? You check retarded because you're not an imbecile. I was using it literally. We were talking literally.
We're talking about it. Speaking of imbeciles, who's in bed with a beautiful blonde woman and not making a move on her? Dagwood in his donut pajamas. He's always got a book and she's always got a magazine. What? She can't handle literature and he can? Are you shitting me?
She's propping him up again like she always does.
Right. She would have Kierkegaard and he would have fucking the funnies.
Yeah.
Anyway, he goes, all this reading before bed is making me hungry. She goes, dear, everything makes you hungry. And then finally he goes down there and he's looking in the refrigerator and he goes, well, she's got me there. All right. Talk about mailing in the fucking comic strip this week.
I know.
I mean,
Unless there's a juicy backstory, like she's maybe done with it. I mean, the last frame, she's at the fridge. Well, she's got me there, but Jesus, I basically just asked to have sex with her.
Yes. And then the 4th frame, which you don't see, is her with her legs on the bedposts, furiously tickling her Fluffy because she's so underserved in this marriage. The calves, you can see the definition of the calves and the sheen of the newly shaved shins and the toes curling back as her back arches. And there's just a light layer of moisture across her breasts as she sweats through an orgasm.
It's a good image. Better than donut pajamas.
It's the Sunday Funnies. All right, listen, you guys have been great. Next week, big announcement. We'll be announcing the on sale will be the koozies available for the holidays, maybe eyeglass cleaners. We don't know yet, but you'll be able to order them, and they'll be shipped to your house within a week. Plenty of time for the holidays.
Personally shipped.
Maybe. We'll see about that.
We have to figure out a way where people send their address, and then I could copy and paste it on labels.
You know, at least
I
give
like
people
it. We're learning.
At least give people the illusion that we're professional and we have our shit together.
No, I think they like this sort of roll up the sleeve thing.
Do they?
Yeah, they like that we're going to be touching. We see it. We see the name. We're in touch with it. We didn't farm this out to like Buyify or Shipify or whatever those things are.
Spotify or yeah. All right. Well, listen. Thanks to Midcoast Media, Chris Denman, as always, doing a great job. The show is not on a time delay, but sometimes Chris Denman is. We want to also shout out to our sponsors, BetterHelp. If you want to get yourself some therapy online, there's no better way to do it. And now you can get a discount by going to betterhelp.com/Sunday. Also, if you're going to buy tickets for theater, sports, or music, you can go to GameTime.com, or just go to GameTime and use Papers in the app, and you'll get yourself $20 off your first purchase. Anything you want to plug, Mike?
Yeah, I mean, well, no, but I apologize. I think this audio might have worked out, but it's not going to be as rich and mellifluent because I'm an imbecile. and I forgot my microphone. But I think it might have worked out.
Mellifluous?
Mellifluous? Mellifluent?
God,
What
what an imbecile. What an imbecile.
I can't get any words today.
Jeez, maybe because you're sweating. Are you sitting in the sun or something?
I am baking, man. This southern exposure. I think I'm burned.
Yeah.
The window's open, so I'm probably burned.
Well, maybe your girlfriend needs to get some curtains in the room that I was woken up in at 5 a.m.
She
every day
will not do
last
it.
week. All right.
She slept in here this week because her sister had a gas leak at her house, and she and the husband and the baby came over. So she was in here.
So she gave them the house and moved up
The
there?
dogs already ate the cushion, the pad you were on that made it comfortable?
Yeah.
Gone already.
No.
These two dogs ruin everything. I would have a problem keeping the dogs. Let's just keep that between us.
By the way, if anybody in Los Angeles wants to rescue a beautiful 12-year-old Beagle Terrier mix who is unbelievably well trained, only barks like maybe once a day when he's like excited to go for a walk. Really sweet. His name is Max. We've been fostering him for somebody, but we can't keep him. And I'd love to give them to a lucky listener. If you'd like to rescue Max or get some photos, just email me at fitzdogradio@gmail.com. All right. Thanks again. We'll see you guys next week.
All right, everybody, take it easy.
Take it easy.
Well, fill up your coffee, fill up your tea. Turn on the speaker, turn off the TV. Sit in the chair you really like. It's the Sunday papers with Greg and Mike. Sit in the chair